This is going to be so much fun.
Oh,
I'm looking forward
gosh.
to this
I'm
so
not.
much. Good to be back on Table Talk. I am Mo Lightning. He, of course, the WWE Hall of Famer. Devon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. Of course, I give updates every week because of what happened with my back. I'm doing great. I'm not going into full details, but I'm walking without the brace. I'm walking without the cane, and I'm walking out the walker. So I'm doing good.
Excellent. That is outstanding. No Lindsay for the time being. She's taking a little bit of a hiatus from things, but
Yes.
hopefully she'll be back sooner than later. But we do have another female presence on the show, somebody that I know you are so excited to have on the show.
Well, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy, this young lady actually asked me to be on the show many times, and I said no. And I meant no, but due to the fact that Lindsay had to take a little hiatus because she had to take care of some problems, some personal problems she had to deal with, family wise, that she's taking a little hiatus. That's it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, my wife Taylor.
I expected a little bit more excitement from you there.
Well, you have no idea because now I gotta be good on the show now because of the fact that if I say something wrong or what have you, I gotta hear it up until the time I fall asleep. So if I don't have any gummies, to take before I go to bed, it's gonna be a long night.
Well, welcome, Taylor. It's great to have the better half of Devon's life. Why have you wanted to be a part of the show for so long?
Because this is like his baby. So, I got to be a part of it too.
No, she's already, no, that is not the reason why. One of the reasons why is because she wants to try to get her own guests on the show. Number one.
Yeah.
Hold on. Number one, Tiger King, Carol Baskin.
Okay.
Carol Baskin. No, it's not. And 90 Day Fiance. Now, here's the deal.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, for you guys out there, if you watch 90 Day Fiance or anything like that, if you even watch Tiger King or Carol Baskin, let us know if those are the people that you want to see. And if you don't want to see, we won't have them on there, definitely. So you let us know. You're the viewers. You pay to see this stuff. Well, not actually pay, but you get on here and see us every week. So you let us know if that's what you want to see.
It would be something.
Everybody likes Carol.
But that's neither here nor there. I actually think Carol Baskin would be a fun guest.
Yeah. Thank you.
Whoa. She killed her husband for crying out loud.
Okay, if she comes on the show, do not say that.
Or say that.
Or say that.
Don't
exactly.
Say that.
You say that, Devon, not the rest of us.
I'll say that.
Okay.
So where'd you hack your husband at? Where'd you put the body? Inquiring minds want to know.
Journalism that we call Table Talk. With that said, how about we welcome our next guest onto the show? She has been all over the map. She, of course, has helped with WWE. She's helped with TNA, AEW, I believe. Maybe you know her as Dark Angel. Maybe you know her as Sarita. But today we know her as the one and only Sarah Stock. Sarah, welcome.
Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh man, I tell you what, it feels a little awkward for me because usually having one woman on the show, but now we got two, so now it feels equul. I don't like this. I don't like this at all, Mo. Because next thing you know, one of us is going to be gone, and then the show's going to be run by women. That's not going to be good.
It's that estrogen overload, Devon. You got to watch out.
I already got that in my house already. I've been outnumbered. The boys moved out, and the girls came in.
The girls are nuts.
Sarah, where are you at right now? I know that you were concerned about background noise and people crashing.
Well, you'll have to excuse me. I think my Wi-Fi is pretty sketchy. I don't even know if you guys can hear me right now because you guys were cutting out a minute ago. But okay, right on. I'm in Mexico City, in a dojo, Bandito's gym. I'm living here with about 15 other dudes, and I've got a ring and a gym right outside the door pretty much. So, it's pretty much my ideal situation.
Oh, man, I tell you what, I'm jealous. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you got a ring, you got a gym. I mean, what can you
surrounded by dudes? He would love that.
I mean, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Without the dude part, okay? without the D part. I'm sure there's some women there that's helping you out. Now, let's tell everybody why you're there, because you retired from pro wrestling, but fill in the blanks now.
Well, I'll tell you, Devon, actually, I never retired, and I never retired on purpose because I know how this goes. I did have some final matches like 7 years ago, and I have decided to get back in the ring. So I came down to Mexico where I kind of got I'd say I got my start in wrestling, and I decided to come back to my roots, so to speak, to train and to get ready to go again.
So let me ask you this, basically, like I remember talking to Road Dogg right before I left TNA and getting ready to come back to WWE. And he had mentioned to me when I spoke to him, he says, man, this new generation, they hit hard. He was like, good God. Now, do you feel the same way with the women? Now, knowing what we know about in terms of like WWE women, I mean, we know Charlotte, Bianca, and all of those young ladies, they hit very hard. They hit hard just as hard as the men do. Do you find the same way now in Mexico and other places that you're going to be going to?
Well, that remains to be seen. I'm not getting back in the ring until the 29th of April, so I have almost 3 weeks left to prepare. But just from training, I would say, it's rough. It's a tough go, and the women are extremely tough. But I wouldn't say that's any different than when I was wrestling before. I think, especially as women, we're forced to go a little harder and hit a little harder just to give ourselves that credibility, and it's a constant state of trying to prove ourselves.
I mean, listen, I give you and everybody else from our generation credit. I'd rather stay back in the Attitude Era where they barely didn't want to touch you and hit you, even though we made it look good, but still we didn't like the physical aspect of, oh God, I give you credit. My body's killing me.
Yeah, well, I hear you. I hear that for sure, because it's not the same. Definitely, it's been such a process. Since I've gotten to Mexico, it's just been. I think I've been here 3 or 4 weeks already, and it's just one thing after another. I've been getting sick, my throat's been acting up, and then my stomach, and then my knee gets banged up, and I'm full of bruises, and it's just like, wow, I almost forgot how tough the preparation actually is, but I'm being reminded every day. Anyone who's trained to do this knows that it's not an easy road, and even more when so many years have passed. It's been 7 years, so definitely challenging, but I'm giving it my all, Devon. You know me, I'm not planning to show up in any kind of half-assed way here, so I'm giving her.
Well, there you go. I mean, you sent me some pictures on Instagram that basically I didn't even know we took. I guess there was an because I can't use it because I'm using my phone to actually do the show, or I would hold it up in front. But there was a picture of me picking you up in the ring, and we were celebrating over something, but I don't remember that picture. What took place? Can you recharge my memory on that?
I don't remember exactly. All I remember is that you had me over your shoulder and you smacked my ass. It's a long time before you, Taylor, so don't worry about it.
It's okay.
It was back in like 2009, 2010 or something, but it was all part of the show. And I think I still have a bruise to this day. And I don't remember. It's so funny how like the memories just kind of all blur together. And if it hadn't been for that picture, I probably wouldn't even have this memory, But there's something I must have been egging you on throughout the show, and I think you had enough by the end of it. That's enough out of you.
Oh, well, we definitely had some good times in TNA, and I remember so many great matches that I remember having, Bubba and I, and then probably I think me and Pope D'Angelo facing LAX, Hernandez and D Homicide, and so
Anarchia.
Anarchia, thank you. Yes, and I can't remember the guy's name, Anarchia.
Yeah.
I remember so many good matches and so many spots where I remember Pope tried to kiss you and you were like, nope, that ain't happening. You always tried to put that in there.
Yeah, he always tried to worm his way in with a little kiss spot somewhere along the line. Yeah, I wasn't having it back then. I still probably wouldn't be having it today
either. That's great. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, you've been gone from WWE as a producer. How was it making a transition from being in the ring as talent to working backstage as a producer?
Oh, parts of it were really easy and simple because I was kind of in a spot where I was ready to get out of the ring. I was ready to do something else, and it was such an awesome opportunity, and I was really excited about it. But I think the hardest part was you go from being in a locker room and having all that camaraderie, and now all of a sudden you're going and you're working not only with newer talent, but also some girls that have been your peers in the past, and you kind of have to balance that. It's a tricky balance between trying. It's not like you can't be friends anymore, but you have to take on a different role in the company. And I think I struggled a little bit with that, with the girls and the guys, because these are people that I've worked with for years as peers, and so that part was a little tricky.
Yeah, now you got to tell them what to do. Now you got to tell them what to do. I think the most hardest part for me was, and because I definitely understand what you're saying, me coming in from talent to producer, and now all of a sudden Matt and Jeff Hardy, who we created a history and do that. Now I'm like, hey guys, listen, let's go over this match. Now listen, this is what Vince wants. This is what you got to do, and blah blah blah. And if they don't agree with it, it's like it puts you on the spot. You're like, because sometimes talent can get upset because they're not happy with what they have to do. So, there's a little bit of rift there, and you have to go back and forth. You go back and forth with, it would either be John Laurinaitis, or you go to Vince and say, listen, these people decided they don't want to do this, or blah, blah, blah. How can we make it better? So forth and so on. Or sometimes, Vince gets in that mood. Damn it, they're going to do what I tell them, or they're fired. So it's like, you have to go. It's like, what do you do? You're like, listen, guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but he's not budging. Because everybody, Vince has his vision, as we know. He has his vision of what he wants done. Sometimes it works, it plays out tremendously. And there's other times where it's like it might go south because maybe talent, doesn't want to put its all into it, but it falls on the producers.
Did you work?
No, you're totally right, Devon. I mean, it's that.
No.
Sorry,
please,
go ahead.
continue.
I think I might be have a second behind you here with this crappy Wi-Fi.
Go ahead, Mo.
No, I was just gonna say, how was it working with the gang of NXT? You always hear as a fan from the outside that they were easier to work with than maybe Devon's staff on Raw or SmackDown. How was the experience?
I don't necessarily think it was any easier or harder because a lot of the talent that I worked with in NXT got called up to Raw and SmackDown around the same time that I did. I was only there coaching with NXT for a year, and then the next 5 years I was producing on Raw and SmackDown. So, the difference, of course, is that there are a lot of talent in NXT who are newer to the business and just really, they're like sponges and willing to listen and soak everything in. But that doesn't mean they stop learning when they're on Raw and SmackDown. And I think for me, the experience at NXT was so great because I lived 5 minutes from the Performance Center. So I would go there every day. I'd bring my meals for the day. I'd stay there I'd go there early, train. I'd go and teach a class and then hang out and maybe watch one of Norman's classes or sit in with Terry Taylor as he's, watching some videos with people. And it was like a huge learning experience for me too. So my time in NXT was super valuable. And I think I just took a lot of those lessons to Raw and SmackDown with me.
I used to always say I was very envious of you, and I think Adam as well, because you guys started off in NXT, and meanwhile, I go from talent, they throw me right to the wolves. I went right to the main roster. There was no eating into it. I went right to it. So
that's a good point. We at least, we had I got to have experience writing weekly reports and writing reports about live events and just, using the computer system that they would eventually use, that the producers would use on Raw and SmackDown. I got to get my feet wet with all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, Devon, I think that definitely helped me adjust, having those experiences before I went to Raw and SmackDown.
Wow.
Taylor, is there any times that you feel like you could be an agent? I'm sure you hear all the stories. Could you just step in and help out?
No.
Devon
tells me every day. He tells me all the time that I wouldn't last a day. I'd come home crying.
If Taylor was ever in a producer's meeting, or if she was ever on headset, she would need instant therapy. I guarantee you. It would be worse than Dr. Phil. I promise you. People don't realize how hard it is, as a producer, working, for the company. And that's just because, they demand perfection. It's a number one product out there. It's the WWE, it's the Babe Ruth of pro wrestling, so everybody basically, has to be on point, and you can't slip. You can't afford to slip, especially when you're on live TV. It happens, but you can't afford it. And, you make the best of it. And if you do slip, if something does go wrong, then you better do your best to cover it up.
Oh no, I think
or at least not make the same mistake twice if possible. I think that's the important thing too. We're all gonna mess up at some point, but try not to mess up consistently at least.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all.
Now you seem like you're headstrong, you're smart, you know what you're doing. But I have to ask, now that you've been in the producer's role, you're coming back, quote unquote out of retirement, even though you never retired. Are you going to see any difficulties? Could you imagine any difficulties of a match being laid out possibly, and then you're like, no, I'm a producer, I know what to do?
No way. I respect my peers way too much to try to pull anything like that. And I know that at least the girls that I know I'm going to be working in the near future are very capable and have their own style. And I'm, it's a bit of a relief to just step back into that role again of enjoying being out in front of the people again. And I'll do my thing, they'll do their thing. You know what I mean? We each individually know what we're doing, and I think we all respect each other enough to just keep it professional.
That's awesome. So what is the goal then? Are you looking just to compete in the ring? Are you looking to get back into one of the quote unquote pros? I mean, what's the goal?
It's so interesting because I have no idea. I really I got this opportunity here in Mexico, and I just committed to 3 matches, and that's it. And so I decided to give her for the next however long I had there, maybe like 8 weeks in a good solid preparation, do these 3 matches, and then see how I feel after that. If my body still feels good, if mentally it's doing me good to be back in the ring, then for sure I'll keep going with it for a while. But that's kind of the beauty of it, is it's just a big adventure right now, and as life tends to be, and as it always has been in my case. And I don't like making too many plans. I'm pretty spontaneous and like to do things as they come and, reevaluate, see how I feel. It would be great if everything went well and I'm feeling good and I could have a little second phase to my career, even if it's for 6 months or a year or two, and just really kind of finish off on a strong note like I want to, with some more maturity, more wisdom, more knowledge, and then see where things go from there. But there's just so many factors right now. It just depends a lot on how I'm feeling, both emotionally and physically and mentally and all of that.
Well, that's good. I mean, I remember, again, you were in WWE, you're a producer, and there was a couple of times with Asuka in the ring, going over, the plans for the night, things like that. You would actually get in there and do roles and things like that with them to show them how to get into different things. And I said, look at Sarah. I said, I think Sarah's going to make a comeback. And sure enough, look at what's happening.
Oh wow, you called it.
Oh, I called it. I called it. I said,
Yeah. Yeah.
because when it's one thing when you leave the business for a while, and that's from a talent standpoint. I mean, you can be a producer and all that. That's great, but when you leave it from a talent standpoint, sometimes you get that itch to come back, and you want to come back. You know, and sometimes you lose the confidence that you used to have when you used to go in there, and then it only takes one thing to get it right back again. One good
Yeah.
match to get it right back, and then you're right back on the bike again, and you're riding that bike all the way to the finish line again. I
Yeah.
definitely see you
Yeah.
doing.
Totally. Yes. Yeah. And you're right. I tried for most of my time as a producer to stay somewhat in shape and somewhat able to get into the ring and be able to demonstrate, like you said. And of course, when you're in there and something, you go to put on a hold or something, and it's so easy and it feels so good and you feel like such a badass. And of course, like, oh man, I do miss this. It had just been made so clear to me from the beginning that my role in WWE is not as a wrestler. I was there to work backstage, to help coach, and then to produce, they made sure I was ready to take that leap, and I definitely was at the time. But life is funny, and things always tend to work out for the best. And that now I'm here, having the time of my life. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that I'd be back in Mexico for one, living at a gym for another? Just completely immersed in it again. But man, it's just so great how life works out, and I'm the happiest that I've been in years at this very moment. I feel so fulfilled. I've got an objective. I'm working towards goals. It just feels amazing.
That's good. That's really good.
That is outstanding. Yeah.
It really is. It really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you.
I mean, we wish you nothing but the best of luck and huge success.
Yeah.
Stay safe and continue to do what you're doing.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, as far as I'm concerned, you got knocked off the bike, you're going to get back on the bike, and as if you never got off the bike in the first place. That's what I love about
Yeah,
this business. Sometimes when you've had success in your
totally.
career in the beginning, you'll continue to have success as you move on. So nothing but success, and nothing but joy for you moving forward. And I'm really proud of you as my little sister. She was my little sister back in when she was a producer in WWE. Always
Aw,
producer. I remember there were times where we would have a rough day because maybe a match
yes.
didn't work out right, and she would say to me all the time, "D, you want to go have that drink?" I'm like, "Yes." Let me drop off my bags in the room, and I'll meet you downstairs. It would be me, her, Fit Finley, Adam Pierce, Jamie Noble. I mean, we would all be down there and have a couple of drinks and all of that. Taylor be calling me. How come you're not answering your phone? I'm downstairs having a drink. I'm having a drink with everybody. Leave me alone. Just.
Oh yes, yeah. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, those were some of my favorite memories from working there too. Just the hotel bars, That's what a great way to relax after after a stressful day, just with people that understand you. And the one thing that I really loved about working on Raw and SmackDown was having that locker room again. Like I said, how much I miss the camaraderie. But then when I have, like, yeah, it's like my brothers with me, and like you say, there's you and Fit and Kidman and Adam, and when Dean was there, and Arn, everybody, and everyone was just so accepting and loving of me and supportive, and super cool. So I gotta say, that's the one thing I just miss so much, is just the daily interaction with all of you guys, because you really made my life easier there.
Well, you made our lives easier. I can tell you that, and a lot happier. Let me tell you. So thank you.
Thank
and
you.
I think that we do that with each other. I just wish we would have had a camera following us around.
Oh, geez. How many tears does Sarah have in her body? I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad, but every once in a while you can get to you.
So we've been talking a lot about the wrestling. Of course, we brought Taylor in and talked about some of the guests that she wants to work with, Tiger King and 90 Day Fiance. What do you do to unwind? What do you watch?
I don't watch much of anything, honestly. I'm more of a podcast listener. So yeah, I don't watch much TV at all. I like working out. I like, being in the gym and either putting on some Pantera, listening to some good heavy music to de-stress, or I'll, if it's late at night and I'm cooking or cleaning or whatever, throw a podcast on and just zone out and relax.
Okay. All right. What's your best dish? What's your signature?
Oh, geez. Well, if I'm not watching what I'm eating, I make a great fettuccine Alfredo from scratch. I don't make the noodles myself, but I make the sauce myself. Yeah. Forget that. I mean, but yeah, I make a really good pasta dish. That one, and what else do I do great? Almost everything I cook is only stuff that I would eat, like it's just typical, like eggs or salmon, or, I do a lot of like rotisserie chicken that's already bought and cooked, so I don't have to worry about cooking the chicken, if that counts. I can tear up a chicken really good to, throw it on a salad or something. But yeah, everything's very basic. You want to talk about cooking? Talk to Taylor there. She sent me away from their house so many times with just like, oh my God, the most amazing desserts. Like, she is the baking queen. I don't know if you know that, Mo, but if she hasn't baked for you yet, oh my God, just incredible.
Poor Sarah. She probably gained 10 pounds staying at our house for a few days.
Yes, I know. I don't know how Devon does it living with you.
I don't eat it.
He struggles.
I don't eat it.
He struggles.
I do not eat it.
Yes, he does.
Do not eat it.
Yeah.
Well, Sarah, listen, we want to thank you for coming on the show. We know you have things to do, matches to get ready for, preparations and all of that. Mm-hmm. Where can we find you on social media? How can we get in touch with you if we wanted to? Or see what's going on?
Almost everywhere. Yeah, everywhere it's SS Dark Angel, like Sarah Stock Dark Angel, on Twitter, Instagram, SS Dark Angel, Facebook, same thing. On YouTube, Sarah Stock, Dark Angel. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
All right. And I don't know, you might convince me to come out of retirement after my back gets better in about a year. And I'm not taking any bumps, though.
Do it.
I only hit.
I
only hit them.
You okay?
Yeah. Taylor's like, hold up. We haven't discussed this yet.
No.
That would be great to see you back in again, Devon.
Yeah, you never
and I'll
know,
stay in touch with you guys, and
Absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much for being on the show. It was an honor and a pleasure to have you on. And again, much success to you in your second chapter in your life, going in that squared circle. I want you to stay safe. And if you ever need anybody to get the table or do a what's up, you just give me a buzz. I'll be right in Mexico.
Right on. No, thank you guys so much. This was so cool. It's great to catch up with you. Devon, Taylor, you guys know I love you. You guys know your family to me. So thank you so much for everything. Great meeting you, Mo. And appreciate you guys so much. Hope to do this again sometime.
You definitely will.
Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. All right. And now I feel like I'm going to be in the middle here conversation.
Hi.
In the middle of the conversations, and why would that be, Mo?
I just feel like one wrong comment in the remaining part of the show is just gonna, I don't know, elevate some tension, and then I'll just be here while you guys go back and forth.
Well, we're definitely not doing any Tiger King, and most likely we're not doing any Soldier Boy. In terms of, there's a character on 90 Day Fiance also called Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
No, we're not having.
Okay, I didn't say.
This is a wrestling podcast.
Soldier Boy.
This is a wrestling
but you have. Hold on. You've had other guests that are not wrestlers.
That are meaningful and guests that I say okay to.
Okay, reality TV show stars.
Suck.
Okay, you like 90 Day Fiance, Devon.
I tolerate it because it stops. I stop an argument on the TV.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time I'm done with my gummies, I'll watch anything. I'll watch my dog jump over the bed a couple of times and find that entertaining.
Wow. Okay, for real, 90 Day Fiance. Can happen.
Yeah, we could probably get one of those stars, probably.
Yeah.
Yes. One of them, actually, her name is Paola. She's in the indie circuit. She's not on 90 Day Fiance anymore, and now she's an indies wrestler. And she actually wrestles over here.
Even more reasons why not to get anybody on the show from me.
I mean, we are always looking for more talent, though. So,
see,
yeah,
I feel like Mo's kind of on my side.
That's okay.
I'm all about the guests and the entertainment on the show.
See,
that's
that's what I'm looking at.
Listen, who I'm looking at getting huge guests. I'm looking at getting guests like, yeah, like that.
We have previously announced, we don't have a day and time yet, but we have previously announced the comedian known as Fluffy.
Yes, Fluffy will be on. It will be after May 7th.
Okay.
He has his
after May 7th.
Dodger Stadium on May 7th.
Right. He has a big show coming up on May 7th. And we talked today, and he says he can't wait to do the show and be on it and, tell some jokes. So we're going to have a good time with Fluffy. We went to his show and had a very, very good time. Very entertaining. From the opening comedian down to the main event, which was Fluffy, was excellent. So if Fluffy's ever coming to a town near you, you need to go check him out. It's hilarious. You'll have a good time, I promise.
He kind of, once he put on the Dudley glasses, he did kind of look like Bubba a little bit.
Yeah, well, Bubba, last time I saw Bubba was a few months back, and I was like, wow, Bubba, you kind of looking like me now with the, the receding hairline, and he's kind of getting a little bald there. So, listen, everybody's got to come to the truth one time. If you're going bald, just shave it. Don't have the big bald spot in the back of your head like your grandfather or your father used to have back in the 70s. Just shave it off. Just shave it. I was watching a basketball game with the Lakers, and LeBron was playing, and I happened to see LeBron up there, and he's got that big circle in his hair. Good God. It was like, just shave it.
That's what happens when you play for a bad team.
Yeah.
There's a guy on 90 Day Fiance. His name's Gino. He's bald, but he's got this patch of hair right in the back of his head. He refuses to take his hat off, but it looks like he's got hair from the back because of his hat, but he's bald all over. But
that's the Hulk Hogan look. Put the bandana on and just let the hair look luscious.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I get that. Now, this is your favorite guy there, Devon. Byron said, if you get a chance, Mo, can you grab a pic that Bubba posted on Twitter about 50 minutes ago? And I'd actually seen this picture all day. And I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and pull this up.
Oh, my God.
It was actually a 90s wrestling account that pulled this up. Look at Bubba's pants and look at your fanny pack.
Oh, my God. The Rock took a picture like that and it went viral. I don't think this is going to go viral, but good God. Yeah, we were in Japan when we took that picture. Okay. I remember it was freezing that day. Bubba had the Zumba pants, if you want to call them that, with the big, sweatshirt and the boots and the swap boots and all that. That was the style back then, so you couldn't tell me nothing back then. I thought I was styling.
Was that the look that made you fall in love with him, Taylor?
Well, I mean, he does still like fanny packs, so. Yeah.
Oh, I sport a fanny pack because here's the deal. The day I stopped using a fanny pack, my wallet was gone, my keys were gone, my phone was gone. I got my fanny pack back and forget it. I was back in the business again. I kept all my stuff together. I didn't have to worry about losing anything.
I know they were trying to bring him back like last summer. I don't know if it was successful or not, though. Probably not if I have to ask about it.
Well, let me put it this way. I went and got a Coach fanny pack.
Oh.
Yeah, he went and got me a Coach purse and then walks up with his Coach fanny pack.
Why not? She can't be the only one enjoying Christmas.
Did he at least pick well? Did he choose well with the Coach purse?
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah, always.
Watch your tongue. Watch your tongue. Watch it. Your grandmother, if she's watching, she'll get your bag this year.
Oh, will she now?
Oh, she will.
Okay.
She will.
My grandmother, the first ever Coach purse that Devon ever bought me, my grandmother has been wanting me to give it to her for years. And Devon's like, yeah, she can have it. Give it to her. Give it to her. I'm like, no, it's my first bag from you. I want to keep it. And give it to her. Give it to her. We're going to buy her own.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Every woman should probably be spoiled with that at some point in her life,
absolutely. Right? Grandma's getting a Coach bag this year.
Okay. All right.
She better be watching.
So we've heard this story from Devon in the past, but Taylor, since we got you here, I kind of want to rewind a little bit. And how did you guys meet, and how was dating, Devon?
It was excellent. It brought joy. It brought joy to her heart.
Yeah.
I mean,
right,
she was skipping on rose petals and everything. I mean, she basically was in cloud 9.
Wow.
I was.
I mean, think about it. I mean, it's me, for crying out loud. Come on.
Oh.
Shut up, Byron.
He doesn't even have to say anything. That's great. All right, Taylor, I can mute him if need be. Yeah.
Anyway, dating was nice. You know, we met actually at a restaurant. He was wrestling in TNA, but I had no idea who he was. Hi, you're muted. You know, I really didn't know who he was at the time. I didn't know he had a whole career in WWE, any of that. Dating him, you know, we had really amazing dates and a lot of time to ourselves before we had kids, so that was nice. We don't really get to do things by ourselves anymore without our kids. So, but you know,
we got badass kids.
Yeah, we do.
We got baby's kids.
Send help. Send help.
We heard about the destruction before the show. Yes.
Yes. But you know, dating was nice. We got to travel a lot. I got to travel with him different spots in WWE and all of that. So that was really nice. But you know, now we have kids, so
not so nice anymore.
Don't get to really do that anymore. So
no, so you didn't know who he was. You didn't know what he did for a living. So
no.
I assume that means he didn't have a lot of wrestling knowledge. Is that something you felt obligated to learn because
it's funny because, you know, growing up, like I lived with my great uncle my whole life. He basically helped raise me and took care of me, and he loved wrestling. You know, he was always getting the pay-per-views on Sundays, always watching Raw on Mondays and SmackDown.
One question: he knew who I was. He knew who I was.
Did.
He knew who I
yes,
was.
he did.
And then what? When you told him, let's go ahead and pause, sidetrack here. So when you tell him that you're dating Devon, what's his reaction?
You know, he was kind of in shock, I guess I would say. But
did he say why'd you settle for that one? Why didn't you go for
The Rock?
Go for who?
Funaki.
I don't.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you should have said The Rock.
Yeah. I thought you said Brock at first. I was like, huh? No.
I don't think I'd wish that.
But you know, I would have conversations with Devon, and he's like, well, how did you see, you know, so and so, and you didn't see me? And I'm like, no, I never saw him wrestle and stuff before. Like, I knew him or I met him. I didn't realize, you know, who he was. I probably saw him in passing, but never really paid attention.
You didn't leave an
Sorry.
impression. Well, you know, it
damn
didn't matter.
Dudley.
Millions of fans out there, you know, love the Dudley Boys.
To the millions watching at home.
You know.
All right. Yeah, he tells a story about when you guys met at the restaurant and how you went up and you weren't going to take any of his crap, you weren't taking any of his BS. Because like he would have a move to brush off fans or something.
What was that?
Like he had a move that he would do that would like brush off the fans or something. He'd be like, "Oh, yeah,
Devon's he's not a very approachable person, you know. So even when he's at a restaurant and eating and stuff like that, and somebody comes up and he's like, if there's food in front of him, he's like, I'm eating. Can I help you?
I mean, in all fairness, though, I learned that mistake 20 years ago. That I approached a rock band while they were trying to eat lunch, but like between sets, and they were pissed off, and I didn't understand why. Now I get it. So I think you have every right to be upset if somebody walks up to you while you're eating.
Listen, when you got that big, and they got that good sandwich or that good steak, and you're eating it, and you want it to salivate in your mouth, and you just want to taste all the seasonings and all that, you don't want to stop to talk and sign autographs, because you just don't stop and talk and sign autographs. You talk about your career, you talk about this one, that one, how's wrestling this one, how's wrestling that one. Dude, I signed the autograph. I took the picture with you. Now go. Let me finish eating.
But then, what goes through your mind when you have an attractive young lady, such as you are now wife, approaching you while you're trying to eat?
Well, it was like I kind of took on Bubba's mentality when he was in the ring. Like, what do you want? Like a lot of times I gotta say I was a jerk. I was a jerk because I tried to prove that, I'm not looking at you. What do you want? I'm busy. I'm eating, So
And his Mr. T voice.
It got people away.
Yeah,
And,
that
Nana's watching.
Nana's watching.
What is that?
Nana, that's my grandmother that we were referring to about the purse.
Yes, Nana's gonna get her purse before Taylor gets hers.
All right.
Wow. Anyway.
So how's it been on your end, Taylor, kind of adjusting to his lifestyle, being on the road and being around the wrestlers? Is that a culture shock at all?
No, not really. It was really fun, like getting to travel with him and stuff before we had kids, and joking with everybody. I'm not even gonna go into stories. Devon might kill me. But traveling and joking. I know, joking with everybody, and just having a good time and getting to know everybody. At that point, everybody knew, me and him were dating and we were engaged or this or that. And, everybody kind of knew me by then, and I knew what he was doing, kind of thing. And then when I got pregnant, then we had to, slow down, like me traveling and stuff like that. And, he was on the road all the time. Like that for me kind of sucked, I guess to say, because, when we had our first daughter, he wasn't really home that much. He had to travel constantly. He would leave on a Friday and not come home till Wednesday, and then have to leave again on that Friday. So he was only
some
home.
Like ugly kid Joe Cats in the cradle situation, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Father.
Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon.
But, other than that, no, I never really minded him being on the road. Going on the road with him was fun. After our daughter was born, we traveled with her a few times. So she got to see New York, Jersey. She went to, where else did she go? Texas, I think she went to.
Texas, Carolina, Tennessee. She went basically a lot of places.
She went everywhere, So that
she did more
really
traveling
fun.
as a kid than most people do in their lifetime.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much. And then we had our second daughter, and pretty much that was hard because the pandemic hit. So everybody was on lockdown. So she didn't get the opportunity to go out there and to enjoy the road life like my first daughter, Talia, did. You know, but I'm sure she'll make up for it as time goes on.
Talia is such a people's person now. She loves being around people. She loves traveling and going places. And Amaya just likes to be at home and be by herself and be away from people, which I feel like she's like that because of the pandemic, because she didn't get to go out there and see things like Talia did, so.
And that's the way siblings are too. A lot of siblings are radically different. So it makes sense. Now, let's say one of your daughters, and I'll start with Taylor because I'm sure Devon's got an opinion. But let's say they grow up and they want to go into wrestling. What do you say to that, Taylor?
I want them to be whatever they want to be. I want them to do what they want to do. If I had to pick a kid, I know it's going to be Talia 100%. Talia is Devon recreated. Period. She loves going to the wrestling school. She loves getting in the ring and running around and exercising, and she calls them her people. Those are her people. She cries when she doesn't get to go to the school with Devon anymore. She loves it. Amaya could care less, but Talia loves it.
Who is that?
That's Anna.
Oh God.
She loves going to the shows and stuff, and like now she's Talia has gotten into, we have a Google Home thing, and she'll get up on it and say, okay, Google, play Daddy on YouTube videos, and she tries to look up Devon on YouTube, like his wrestling videos, and she'll sit there and watch him and go Daddy, go Daddy.
Wow.
And she watches him because she really likes it.
Do you have a parental guidance on that, a control lock to make sure the ECW content?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That might be all wrestling in my house. I don't want my girls wrestling at all. And I look at it, got girls like Bianca Belair. You have women like Natty, Charlotte, and the list goes on and on with the women in WWE. I'm sure they got stories to tell, but those women are what I consider probably one of the great females of the business. How they carry themselves, how people respect them, and things like that. In the wrestling business, it's very hard for women to get the respect that they deserve, especially when they're trying to make it in one of the biggest federations. And it's very hard, with guys always either trying to date them, guys always trying to take advantage of them, things like that. So that's one of my biggest fears, because I would really hate to have to put somebody's ass through a table really bad. I mean, I really would. My daughter comes home and says, "Daddy, I met somebody just like you. Get my gun. Get my gun."
In all fairness, if she should want to continue on with her pro wrestling interest, hopefully by the time she's old enough to be able to get into it, hopefully a lot of this trend has changed with a lot more women getting the respect, TV time, so on and so forth.
Well, I like to say this, in terms of, like I said, Bianca Belair, Natalia, even Tamina, Slicker's daughter. Mm-hmm. The list goes on and on. I mentioned Charlotte, and if anybody's been omitted, I'm sorry, but it's just one of those things. Lacey. I mean, they are very, very respected, in this business, And you weren't on the show last week. It was me and Lindsay, but I couldn't stop putting over Bianca Belair and Becky, their match at WrestleMania. I loved it. I loved it tremendously. It was probably one of the greatest storytelling matches I think I'd ever seen for a woman, that is. And because the women don't really get the respect that they should get. And they're just as talented as the men are, So kudos to, kudos to Bianca and Becky for the excellent matches they put on, and even Ronda Rousey and Charlotte. I think Ronda came a long way from the first time she stepped foot in the ring, not really knowing, pro wrestling like all the other women, but really gravitating to it, practicing, wanting to be just like, the rest of them. And I think she's shown it at WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania from top to bottom was a phenomenal card. And both nights, incredible. Over 70,000 fans. That's incredible. Back to back. Vince McMahon, my hat is off to you. I don't want to take it off fully. I don't want nobody to see my bald head.
Right. Yeah. we can't have that. No.
You just got to get a patch in the back.
I said that at my Hall of Fame. I said I always wanted to be like Hulk Hogan, I wanted to look like Hogan. I wanted to try to make my hair look like Hogan. And back when I was little, I didn't understand why me and Hogan didn't have the same type of hair. But as time went on and as my career went on, I realized that eventually down the line, me and Hogan would have the same hairdo as we got older. So
and the same tan, right?
And the same tan. But I think he's a little darker than me.
I could see that. Now, would you want all of his marketing opportunities, like the Hulk Hogan chicken sandwiches, the Hulk Hogan grill? I mean, he's had a lot of those.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what. Whatever opportunity that Devon Dudley gets to have his name on, I'm gonna take it, because there's no telling what could have happened if he would have taken that George Foreman grill. I mean, that was incredible. I didn't realize he passed that up. And George Foreman came in, swept it in, and took it.
Yeah. What's going on with the lighting over there? Like you got like a UFO?
Sorry.
What's going on?
No, it's not my fault. It's like a lighting mirror, and it has a timer. So if it stays, so it doesn't like overheat. So it keeps shutting off. My bad. I keep turning it on.
What was the last thing you put up with the question?
So Keith said maybe you should sponsor poker tables.
Hell, I would love to. Hey, Steve, I'll tell you what. If you got somebody that wants to put Devon Dudley's name on a poker table, please let me know. Please let me know.
Now, is there anybody you are excited to watch, Taylor? Like when he throws WrestleMania on, is there somebody that you, regardless of his opinion, get into?
This year, I was actually really excited to see the Bobby Lashley match. Was it Bobby Lashley, right? With the guy? What's the guy's name, Devon? Oh, yes, him. Because I don't really watch it like that, Right. So when I was watching the the pre-show and stuff like that, and it's showing you all the matches that are going down. I was actually really interested to see who was going to win that match, and I was shocked that that he didn't win, that Bobby won. So yeah, that was it though. That was the only one that I was like, yeah, I really want to see it, because I'm used to just being just one day and that's it. And now it's like 2 days and it's double, literally. It's like 2 WrestleManias instead of one. So if you don't follow it and you're not like, when my uncle and stuff was alive, like we used to do WrestleMania parties, and like everybody would just come over and we'd have a bunch of food and everybody would like eat and hang out, and just enjoy WrestleMania. It was the biggest thing, the biggest wrestling thing of the year.
I had those for Mania and the Royal Rumble every single year. I had to do the Rumble, but did you either of you, and I know you did, Devon, but the Jackass one, Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn.
I
had me laughing the whole time.
That had me laughing the whole time, exactly. And I thought it was very well done. I thought it really was. I thought Johnny Knoxville did an excellent job. I thought the supporting cast that came out to root on Johnny, I thought they did a great job. So many. I think there were 2 matches. I think that was one, and probably the one with Vince that he was in.
Oh, Vince versus McAfee.
Right, McAfee and the young kid,
Austin.
Austin Aries.
Theory.
Austin
Every
Theory.
time.
I always say that. I even said that to
Every
him, and he was like, Devon, he's a little shorter than I am. I said, he's a lot shorter than you.
He did it the other day, and I was like, what?
Yeah, but I looked at, because I say this because, I don't think people realize that, that they probably were going to put on a good show at, what they did. I thought they did excellent before Austin came out and before Vince got in the ring. I thought he did great. I thought they both did great. I thought Pat did a tremendous job. I'm very proud of Austin. I remember when Austin first came in, and Austin would ask me for advice and, and things like that. And I had a few of his matches, so I was able to produce him and help him out a lot. So I was very happy to see both of those guys get over the way they did at WrestleMania. And, I guess you got to say this, but, when Austin came out and did his thing, it brought me back to the Attitude Era. And I think it brought a lot of people back to the Attitude Era, when he came out to right the wrong of the villain. And then, of course, to pay back Mr. McMahon. But I think it was business as usual the way Mr. McMahon took that stunner. Because if you remember, he took the stunner the same way he did the first time he had ever taken it. But you know what? A lot of people don't realize that if you've never taken the stunner before, sometimes you don't know how to bump on that. So, but once you take it the first time, you usually get the hang of how to do it, and how to make it really look great. But the first thing, you don't go down to your knees with Austin. That's one. You just bend your torso down. But it was great to see Vince do that. Man. So if I was talent today in WWE, and if I messed up a move and Vince said, hey, come here, let me speak to you. Why did you mess up that move? Well, why did you mess up the stunner? That'll follow Vince for a long, long time. I think watching one of the YouTube videos, or I think it was Instagram, with Mick Foley, I think his son was filming him watching it, and he was just hysterical. He was crying. He was laughing so hard he was crying. I thought that was great.
Does Devon, or has he tried to do the moves on you or whatnot?
No.
I
mean, maybe back in the day, I don't really know, but no, he don't mess with me. I beat him up.
I could see that. Now, talking about women in the industry and whatnot, and guys hitting on them, dating them. Did you have any encounters with any of his co-wrestlers before they knew you guys were dating?
No, I didn't have any. Wait, hold on. For me to have encounters, or for him to have encounters?
No, but I mean, see, he doesn't want to hear this. Apparently,
I know. Where'd he go? What happened?
Probably just lost signal or something. But no, more like. Because the guys can be a little, salivating backstage. So maybe they saw you hanging out, not knowing who you're with, but they maybe approach you anyway and say, hey, what's your name?
You know, I mean, me and Xavier were friends for a minute, you know, and that kind of turned into a joke because when he realized, oh hey, I was just talking about Xavier.
Okay, this is what. Okay.
Well, I mean, Mo, can you tell Devon what your question was?
So, you know, the guys in the back can be thirsty, so to speak. So I asked if anybody had approached her before knowing she was there with you backstage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where the Xavier comes in, yeah.
So you know, it just turned into a joke because Devon and him were just playing, and then at one of the shows they were joking. It was like at a house show or something, and I can't really remember who started it.
What
If
happened
it
was
Devon.
Big E took his shirt and threw it in Taylor's direction, and you know they were all messing with me, and so they were just like, I was like, give me that shirt back, and I took the shirt and I threw it at him, and he was like, Taylor, I got this for you. You know how big he is in the ring, and you know he would do the thrust through and all of that, and I'd be like, cut it out, Biggie, cut it out. She's with me. He's like, oh, that's even better, you know. And then Kofi did the old twerking thing, which I find hilarious. You know, here it is. You know, I'm trying to get underneath my skin, but yet he's making me laugh because Kofi is that type of guy where he makes you laugh and this and that. And you know, the New Day, we always had fun with those guys. I mean, whether it was in the ring or outside of the ring, we always had fun with those guys, and it was always a pleasure, man. I mean, it really was. And you know, to have somebody like Xavier look up to me, growing up as a kid in wrestling, and then to actually be in the ring with me to hear him tell the story is truly amazing. I mean, he was on Table Talk and told the story how he was at an ECW event, Cobb County, Georgia. And
one of the up the road from me right now, yeah.
Yeah, and one of the pay-per-views, and Bubba was in rare form, and he was there with his friend's mom and his friend, and Bubba just ripped her apart, and she was ready to jump the railing to come after Bubba, and of course, the security was there to stop him and everything like that. But it was truly something to remember. If you ever go back and watch that ECW event, you see Xavier sitting right in the front row, and then some 20 years later, for him to actually be in the ring with me, side by side, whether it's be against me or with me, it's truly an event. I mean, I think that's anybody like me, watching Hulk Hogan, idolizing Hogan as a child, and then all of a sudden sharing the same locker room with him and, breaking bread with him. I mean, it's something that, it's amazing, to be able to do that. It's your childhood dream.
Absolutely. What was your childhood dream, Taylor?
Me.
Other than him.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it? When I was younger, I always wanted to be like a doctor, work with kids and stuff. So I kind of pursued like the nursing field, the nursing career and stuff like that, which I did until I had to take leave because I was pregnant and stuff with Talia.
Mm-hmm.
So after Talia, then I got, pregnant again with Amaya, so I haven't been back to work since then. But
so
not
Devon
a doctor.
Devon ruined your dream.
Yes, basically. Mm-hmm.
No, this woman wants another baby. So really.
Okay, well.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
That look, Baby Factory stops here. I'm telling you right now. That's it. Okay.
I mean,
I got enough kids. Not unless you're gonna come help me babysit.
I would like to have a son. I would like to have a boy. We don't have a son together.
Mm-hmm.
But I would enjoy to have a boy. But my two girls are wild. But everybody says that boys are easier. But with our luck, we would have another girl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not taking my chances.
That happened. I'm the middle son of my family. Myself and my older brother are 4 years apart. And then my parents like, okay, we're going to try one more time, see if we can get a girl in the family. And then my little brother was born after that.
Dang.
9-year difference between me and my little brother. They were hoping. Didn't work out for them.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah,
but isn't there technology now or something that allows you to be able to like you can actually like pick which gender you want.
Yeah, things are so crazy.
I don't know if it's that or different positions.
Wow.
I know Daniel Bryan.
No,
Nana says no way. She'll break the table.
I agree with that. I agree with her. I agree with her 100%. I remember talking to Daniel Bryan, and he said that there was a book. This was before him and Bree had their last baby, and they both were with the company. He said that there was a book, Devon. He goes, I'm going to give it to you, where if certain positions will determine the sex of the baby. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't believe that. I was like, I don't believe it. He goes, Devon, I'm telling you, it works. He was like, that's what it was with our first one. I was like, oh. I'm like, wow. Okay, well, can I get that book? Needless to say, I never got the book.
You got lucky because you got 2 girls now.
Yeah, and boy, oh boy, oh God, did I ever get 2 girls.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up here. I have to ask, Taylor, will you be back next week, or is that to be determined if Devon lets you?
No, I'll be back.
No, she will not be back.
Yep.
No, let me put it this way. She will not be back.
I will be back.
We will not have any Tiger King guests, and we definitely will not have a 90 Day Fiance.
Working on Carol Baskin now.
Okay, you're irrelevant right now. I gave the fans that watch the show an opportunity to say if they wanted to see any of those guys, and not one time did Mo put them up. So therefore, no, we want to see wrestling stars. We want to see people that don't matter.
Excuse me.
And
there's 3 of us.
Note, we will stop the rolling. So that'll be
it. Wow. Okay, Devon, there's 3 of us. Okay, so 2 against 1. Who wins?
I got one thing that neither one of you have. That's a Hall of Fame ring. So there you go. I made my piece. That's
I've got this ring. Okay.
No, Hall of Fame ring is much more important.
It is?
See, I tell you, this is how I get in trouble, Mo. See,
this is your
fault. I told you I was going to be in the middle.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
You called it.
You wanted her on the show, and this is what happened.
Yep.
So if I don't wake up tomorrow, you know why.
Right. Well,
don't worry. We'll find your replacement next week.
No, yeah, we could do that. I may not have a Hall of Fame ring. I may not have the wedding ring, but I have the ability to mute both of them. That's what I can do right now. You see the little X's on there? Yeah. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know if Taylor will be back next week. I'm going to let them fight it out. Thank you for checking out Table Talk. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.